Hi, it's Gary Chimes from Lake Washington Sports and Spine, and what I'd like to show you are my big three exercises for people with frozen shoulders. When people have frozen shoulders, they tend to have a loss of range of motion. I'm going to pretend that it's my right side, and they may lose range of motion. The most important can be external rotation, which will be going from here to here, or from here to here. They also may lose abduction and extension. So classic frozen shoulder, a person when they are trying to go into this position, they get limited. So the big three exercises I like to do, the first stretch I call the pretend I'm interested in you stretch. It's the kind of thing you might do in like a board meeting when you're trying to pretend you're interested in what the person's saying. You interlace your fingers and you're going to try to put it behind your head and then bring your elbows back. When you do that, you might find that there's a struggle to get it over the head. You might even have to tilt your head, but as much as possible, try to keep the head straight. Try not to protrude your neck to get it forward, and then get behind here, and then just hold in that position for about 10 to 30 seconds. The second stretch is called the Saturday Night Special. What you want to do is get right up close against the wall with your heels touching. You want to bring your arms to about 90 degrees of abduction, and then slowly rotate back. And what you want to do is get your hands and wrists flat up against the wall. You might struggle to do this. People who have a frozen shoulder, they may not be able to get it up all the way. They might have their arm in this position. One of the things I really love about this stretch is it helps to make it clear just how much motion you have lost. Some people feel like they haven't lost that much motion, but then when they try to go to the wall, they're here. So this really gives you a great status update as well as being an excellent stretch. The third stretch is the two-handed wall crawl. A lot of people have seen people use like a one-handed wall crawl, but what can happen is as you lose range of motion, you start to cheat. So when you do a two-handed wall crawl, you come up against the wall, put your hands up close, and then you start to slide upward. Really try to avoid leaning to the body and try to get your hands upward. You might find that you have to kind of crawl with your fingers upward. With frozen shoulder, one of the things that's really critical is frequency is by far the most important detail. You want to try to do these stretches at least hourly if you can. They don't have to be very long. It can be for 30 seconds or even a minute, but doing it often, because what happens is connective tissue can stiffen. If you think about how you've been sitting on an airplane or a restaurant back when we could do that before the pandemic, you'd often feel stiff afterwards, even if you've been sitting for 25 minutes. You might find that while you're working at home and doing virtual work, your body stiffens up. So what you're really trying to do is prevent that connective tissue from stiffening down. So these are our big three exercises for frozen shoulder, and I hope you find them helpful.